obviously with specialties and what you do, I mean, sometimes there's a lot of waiting around. I did it for 15 years in the NFL, and you get one chance to go do it, and then hopefully you don't have a chance until maybe 5-10 minutes later, unless you're kicking field goals or something and you're scoring. But the thing is, it's different than normal football because you only get that one chance. You don't go play in and play out. But I think it's important to recognize how important special teams is, and you obviously do because you're here with it. But I think sometimes we as players, we can look at everything else going on and we can get this big picture, and sometimes even the position players look at us in a different way. And I just want to stress to you, understand that what you do and how you do it is very, very important, and it makes a difference. And as I always said, my career in the NFL, what I did was no more important than what the quarterback and the running back and the receivers were doing, but it was no less important either. And I tell you that because sometimes I think we lose track of that because as specialists, we're off on the side a little bit. Now, for me, when I came in the NFL, I was an offensive lineman as well. My heaviest, I weighed 310 pounds. Back then, it looked like I had eaten one of you. I was a backup, but I was a long snapper as well. When I came in the league, there wasn't just a long snapper on the team. When I came out of the league, every team had just a long snapper. Instead of 2 specialists, you had 3. So you long snappers, you can thank me and pay me later. But it's an important thing. And I get to this, and this is what I really want to talk about today, is communication. How do you communicate? How do you deal with people? Because right now, you guys are working on your skills and everything you're doing. And your skills are going to get you, maybe a starting position in high school. Maybe they're going to get you to college. Maybe for a few of you here, it may get you into the NFL. But the skill that's going to keep you there is your communication. What do I mean by that? Well, number one, how you're communicating with your coaches, certainly. But I think more importantly, how do you communicate with yourself? How do you communicate with yourself? When things go good or when things go bad? Now, right now I'm referencing football. Good kick, bad kick, bad punt, snap that's great, snap that's wonderful. How do you do that? But in life, how do you communicate with yourself when things go good or bad? Do you get too full of yourself when you're doing great? Or do you get too down on yourself when you're doing bad? My skills in the NFL, or my skills as a long snapper, got me. Although I will say this, the guys that saw me snapping, you probably don't believe I snapped in the league because it's pretty ugly. But it's probably been close to a decade since I've snapped the ball. But the skills physically got me in the league. But the emotional skills that I've developed inside and how I communicated with myself and others is what kept me there. And I just want to stress that as much as possible. How do you communicate with yourself first and foremost? We have about 250,000 thoughts going through our mind a day. Fat-bearing graves. You just got a couple of words in each thought. You've got hundreds of thousands of words going through your mind at a time. Right now, you're thinking something about me, or you're off thinking about something else. But there's thoughts going on. And the fact is, how you control those thoughts on a second-to-second, minute-to-minute, day-by-day basis is going to be the quality of your life and how you deal with things. Certainly in between the lines, when you have a great kick, a poor kick, a great snap, a poor snap, but in life. Because I played 15 years. Less than 80 people in the history of this planet have played 15 or more years in the NFL. So I played until I was 38 years old. Well, I'm 52 now, so I've been out a while. I've got a lot of life left. So you're going to have to do something other than football at some point, even if your goal is to be in the NFL. And trust me, I'm not going to discourage your goal of getting in the NFL. The odds are low, but I got there from a little podunk school in Kansas. If I can do it, you can do it. So I'm never going to take that dream away from you. But understand, even if you reach that highest dream, you're not going to play past 38 or 39. And then what are you going to do? And again, it's the communication. Who knows who Morton Anderson is? Some of you do, some of you don't. Morton Anderson played 25 years in the NFL, which is crazy. Played 382 games, most games ever played. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017. I snapped for him for a couple of years. We're good friends. And I'm just going to kind of end on this a little bit because I don't want to keep you here too long. But when he came into the league, he had a coach give him a quote that he keeps with him to this day. He always keeps it in his pocket. When he played, he kept it on his body somewhere, I think in a sock or something. Anyhow, he said, powerful, productive communication produces powerful, productive relationships. Powerful, productive communication produces powerful, productive relationships. So as you go away here, my takeaway to you is, number one, how are you talking to yourself on a second-to-second, minute-to-minute, day-by-day basis, depending on what's going on? And then how are you communicating with others? Your friends, your girlfriend, your parents, your siblings, your teachers, your coaches? Are you looking them in the eye? Are you letting them know that you understand what's going on? You hear it all the time, be coachable, but it is very, very important. Don't be a distraction, be an attraction. Be there somewhere who's ready to help. And again, that comes by communicating with others. That's all I wanted to talk about today, is just your communication and what it can create for you, and it makes a huge difference. Now, before I go, and I don't know if you will or not, but if anybody has a few questions, I'm happy to answer anything. This is generally what I get from high schoolers. It's okay. You'll grow in, you'll start communicating better. I say two things. I speak all over the nation for corporations and stuff like that. And I've got 2 hashtags. If you ever follow me on my social media, it's at Kendall Gammon, or for Instagram, I think it's at Kendall Gammon 83. I've got 2 hashtags that you're going to see every time. One is make a difference. In whatever you do in your life, be it on the field or off, whoever you're with, make a difference. Strive to make a difference. And then the second one, which I think is the mother of everything, is be grateful. Be grateful for you can walk. Be grateful that you got up this morning. You were good to go. Be grateful that you had the means somehow, whether you made the money or your parents sent you, that you had the means to get here for camp. Be grateful that you can make something like as trivial as football important in your life. I think about that all the time. I played football for 15 years. In the grand scheme of things, it's just a game. You learn a lot, and it's a big deal. But I'm very thankful that I had that choice, or that chance, rather. That's what I want to leave you with. 2 things. Well, 3, guys, in terms of the communication. But then, whatever you do, guys, make a difference. And just be grateful. I appreciate all your help. I didn't meet all of you. Of course, I've met the snappers, and I've seen some of you kickers before. Kudos to you for coming out here and wanting to get better. Because it's here in the off season that you start developing those habits. I mean, you build yourself in the off season. I mean, you train, you practice during the season, but you're getting ready for games. It's hard to really get better during the season. You can, but not to the degree that you can in the off season, when you can go after things a little bit slower and really get it down. I'll finish with this. I don't know how many Hall of Famers I played with. I'll finish with a couple things. Hall of Famers I played with. But Tony Gonzalez was a tight end. He went in the Hall of Fame here just the last year or 2. That guy, a teammate of mine for 7 years. He was the first guy on the field, and he was the last guy off. And he was doing his steps, or he was catching balls, or anything that he could do to get better. And this is a guy that had been Pro Bowl every year and been All-Pro for 7 or 8 years. It did not matter. He kept going after it. He kept going after it. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have that relentlessness, and you communicate with yourself that, you know what, I got to get better. I got to get better. And you're grateful for what you had, and you decide you're going to make a difference, you're going to do well. And kudos to all of you for coming out. I appreciate your time and actually paying attention. Have a great day.